Hey everyone, this is Manly Badass Hero, and welcome to Bedrot, which is a horror game where you just spend every day not getting out of your bed. How long has your life been like this? You haven't a clue. But given your situation, you don't care about that. Rise and shine, Alice Abbott. What time is it? The time really shouldn't matter to you, not when you're just gonna stay inside all day. Whatever, I'm just gonna do what I do best. Sit and watch TV. It's gone so bad that you can't bring yourself to get out of bed. In order to look around, you find yourself having to click on everything in the room. Wow, fourth wall. Let's click on the garbage. The trash is piled up so much that it almost covers the windows. I would take out the garbage if I didn't have to go outside. I think the windows are the same thing. Yeah, I can't click the windows. You've been to call someone to fix this. Alas, the stench of rotting wood is nothing for you, not when you live with the flies. You're grateful for this. Grateful that you don't have to go out for food. Otherwise, you would have died long ago. Looks like the floor has become your trash bin for tissues. You're so tired most of the time that you can't even bring yourself to put the trash in here. And that's why it sits not empty. Unlike a certain soul. You haven't stepped outside your room for a very long time. You only go here to pick up takeout. You would have lost your head without this lovely contraption. Want to watch something? Yeah. You switch the TV on. Just like every single day. People always tell you to be consistent. And here you are, consistently staying in bed and watching TV. Even though you do this every day, the TV's flickering light still burns your retinas. You switch through the channels. News, sports, questionable stuff, kids shows. You settle on My 30-Day Wedding. Yes, you know that just about everything in that show is staged. But you like it. You like seeing these people be so petty towards each other. Seeing them beat each other over into silly things like soap reminds you of why you're even here. I know that some might think I'm missing out on life, but I'm perfectly fine missing out on people. Even if My 30-Day Wedding is staged, you can't but feel that there's some level of truth to the pettiness. You remember how when you actually attended class, some boy began trying to prank you. And by prank, I don't mean silly things like dialing random numbers. I mean stuff like trying to dump acid on you, huh? And it was all because I didn't want to work with him on a project. Maybe I came across too harshly when rejecting him. A massive part of you believes that the world is a crappy place, but the idea that maybe it's your fault is tempting. You sit back and think on it some more. At least if something's your fault, you can fix it. You switch to the news channel. You feel like watching something informative. Good evening, sensitive of Bedrot City. Evening. You're not surprised, more disappointed in yourself than anything. You used to wake up at the crack of dawn and get stuff done. Now you wake up at the crack of dusk to lay and rot. You bring your attention back to the TV. Thoughts aren't good for you. Today we bring you a grisly case, a murder. Another one, just like every day. Yes, I know that you see this stuff every day, but this is one that's so bad that we have to show you. You zone out a bit while the reporter talks about the crime scene. About how the victim was found under Cardinal River, with half of her face burned off and her breast torn. The victim was named Emma Greenwood. Your ears perk up. You remember that she was one of your classmates, back when you went to class. And she was also one of the only people to check up on you. You're sure that she was a good person, She sure as hell didn't deserve to die in such a horrific way. Why is the world like this? How is it you could do everything right and still have something horrible happen to you? You just had to sleep again. And just like every night, you don't dream. On one hand, if you don't dream, you can't remind yourself that this situation does suck. Plus, you don't have nightmares about how a stranger's gonna bust in to strangle you. On the other hand, sleep is getting boring without dreams. Sleep just consists of your random thoughts bouncing off of each other. It's too much like when you're awake. Rise and shine, again. Even though you got well over half a day of sleep, your eyes are still glued shut. Not to mention that the sunlight makes you want to clamp your eyes. You don't enjoy sunlight. You don't go out to feel its warmth. It's just a nuisance to you. Something that stops you from... You can't think of what stops you from doing. What am I doing? What am I doing with my life? Rotting away, that's what. It's at moments like these where you question everything. No, you didn't question when the trash began piling up in your room. Nor did you question it when people showed up at your dorm with bills, letters, and of expulsion. All that good stuff. Now that sunlight is hitting you, you question it. Part of you wants to go over to the window and cover up with something. But you also don't want to see the dent you left in the bed from how long you've laid here. It makes everything feel too real. You hide from the light under the wrinkled covers. You don't sleep under there. You lay awake. The sunlight barely penetrates the thin fabric, but it's better than your eyes being fried. There's nothing to distract you from your thoughts under the covers. Nothing but the faint buzzing of flies around the garbage. You try to make out little conversations that the flies might be having. Anything to distract you from your mind. After what feels like an eternity, the room is dark again. You prop yourself up again. Just another night of nothing. That's what I expect. Just like every single night since you caged yourself in here. The only difference is that now, you're realizing how miserable it is. You ever bother to clean that up? Too much of a hassle when you already live in filth. It's only now that you realize how overpowering the stench is. You feel bad for whoever lives in this floor of the dorms. But that guilt is enough to drag you out. The only problem with having this takeout container there is that it's probably all moldy now. Might make you die quicker though. You're just waiting for the day for that wall to completely fall apart. What's this over here? Huh? What's this? You can't discern what it is. Maybe it's a plant of some kind. You don't know what it would be living off of. Maybe off of the food scraps under your bed. Maybe off of the decaying wood. No use in wondering about, though. No use in wondering about anything now. You lay back down in bed, stomach completely empty. As the days go on, you feel like your head's becoming more empty. You can remember how when you were younger, the lives of you and your sister were filled with joy and whimsy. As much as you can get in Libretto City, at least. You know that your sister's off being productive, working in forensics of some kind. Heck, she's probably working Emma Greenwood's case right as you rot. How would she feel if she shot me like this? Everyone in my family thinks I'm off getting some psychology degree. They all think I'm actually doing something with my life. When I'm just rotting. That's the best word for it. Bed rotting. Title drop. I used to be someone. Now I'm just some husk. You remember when Emma came to check up on you? She asked if anything had happened. You tried to pinpoint what happened. You're still trying to be quite frank. At least if something did happen to you, this state of your life would be justified, right? Maybe it wasn't a single bad thing that happened. Maybe it was a bunch of smaller things piling up. Even though you spent the better part of your day sleeping, you're too tired to think. You just want rest. It's been long overdue. When you wake up, the sun is blaring on you and your little plant friend. Why is there so much sunlight out there? The Bedrot city is usually all dark and gloomy. Why is it all bright now of all times? Because of the sun. Sometimes you like to think that it's sunny because you're not out there. Self-aggrandizing, yeah. Funny? Hell yeah. At least it's funny in your mind. Seeing the sun out reminds me that everyone's out there doing stuff. At least in the night. People are doing what I do, for the most part. Eating, watching TV, and sleeping. But I know that's not true when the sun is shining. You lay back down, again. You truly hate being reminded of what you could be doing instead of laying in bed all day. You know it's your fault that you're like this. You struggle to sleep for the day, lost in thought. I know that some people out there feel the exact way that I do, but it manifests so differently for people. Some people just turn to alcohol. Some turn to adrenaline hunting. Some throw themselves into their work and become even more productive. I think that any of those people are more productive than I am. Even the alcoholic and adrenaline junkie. Because at least they're putting themselves out into the world. Why do my feelings manifest in this way? Night falls yet again. There's more of that stuff down there. Just like every single night. Do you know how insanity is defined? You really should, considering that you barely survived one semester of university. No answer? Nah, shucks. Explains why you stopped attending class. Insanity is when you do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. That's exactly what you're doing. The thing is that I know nothing's gonna change. I know that every single day is the same. But how different am I compared to other people then? Alright, good point. The way that you view it, with regards to insanity, is the same as most people. Really? People go to the university expecting to outshine their peers, even if they're reusing the same study habits from high school. People go to work every single day, doing random stuff for an apathetic boss, expecting that all the other employees, they'll be the ones to get rich. It's all the same to you. That's just your bed rotting talking, except for the fact that society doesn't consider what you do to be productive. You do miss blissful ignorance. You hate being able to see the systems for what they are. You hate how you can't just go along with it like everyone else. Even though it's all the same. The difference is that those people are happy. Well, I'm not. Aw, don't be such a Debbie Downer. Look, you have this red thing growing here. Maybe you should watch some TV to return to your usual state of apathy. You can barely smell the rotting trash from here. Mostly because it blends with the rest of the odors. You haven't bothered to clean that up. You're surprised that no one's shown up at your door complaining about this. You can't tell if there's leftover rice in the container or if it's just a bunch of maggots. Both. The wall looks a tad bit moldier than usual. This plant looks different from yesterday. Smells different too. It's you. You don't look good. Your sad, hermit little self. As if you didn't know that already. Ah, looks like the TV's off. You don't remember turning it off. Is that they finally cut the power. So we want the lamps off. This day was coming. And now your one source of entertainment is gone. All that can keep me occupied now are my thoughts. Or sleep. What does it matter if the power's gone? Most of my time is spent sleeping and thinking anyways. White noise rings in your mind. Your stomach grumbles with hollowness. And your eyes just don't want to stay open. Regardless if you sleep for 3 or 18 hours, your eyes want to stay clamped shut in eternal slumber. Your eyes give in, and darkness is all you see. Your other senses are heightened, but even they feel dull. You know that it smells slightly worse in here than usual. You're used to the stench of mold and rotting wood. But you're beginning to pick up the odor of decaying meat. The flies are going to love that. You wake up from another dreamless night. That's good. Nothing to remind you of what you could be missing out on. And it's night. You ever slept for only a few hours or for an entire day? I'm probably going to be falling right back asleep any minute. You're starting to wish that you'd stay asleep forever. It's kind of like the anti-RPG Maker game. It looks kind of like functionally like one, but you're just stuck in bed. So like, it's like, alright, I just gotta click stuff. You can't make anything out in the darkness, but you're sure that the maggots and larvae are festering that takeout container. You can't even smell the rotting wood anymore. You just smell your room. Gone is the foul odor of garbage, replaced by just the scent of your room. Because your room is garbage, apparently. And one of these things is over here now. And, you know, these are all longer. You haven't even bothered to clean that up. Which I has when you're living in filth. You can barely smell the rotting trash from here. Blends with the rest of the odors. It's you. You don't look good. All you have is yourself now, even then you're beginning to lose her. Blend looks different from yesterday. Smells different too. You think that this might be the source of that decaying odor. Wouldn't make much sense though. How could a plant be growing and decaying? I mean, some do. It's close to blocking off the exit. It's not like it matters. I was never going to leave in the first place. Quite the thought of despair here. But it's true, there's nothing out there for you. You're sure that no one in your family cares. You're sure that even if you finally did go out, you'd be miserable. Hell, the one person you remember being kind to wound up dead. What does that mean? Does it mean that you have to resort to assholery if you want to live? The worst part of all of this, even after you're thinking about it, you don't know the root of your issues. It was a bunch of small things snowballing up to something massive. But you can't even figure out the smaller things. You fall back asleep. For a long, long time. And again, it's dreamless. You come to realize that maybe you don't dream because your mind itself is a prison. Still rotting here. It smells like blood and guts are spread across the room. I think we're tied up here. Same dialogue. Same dialogue. This is the concern. It's too late for you now. The scent of rot overpowers you. The exit's blocked. You're too late. The vines. Rot. Guts. The substance stays wrapped around you. You don't try to fight it. This is a little more than wrapped around me. You want to scream but you're too tired. The strange tentacles poke through you, stitching you straight to the bed. You never intend to leave in the first place. Not for a long time at least. But now that you're truly chained to the bed, you expect to regret it all. You don't. You had no dreams to live for. So your nightmares became your reality. This is one of those things where it's like, due to the context, you know, what these games usually are, it can be both a metaphorical tentacles holding you down to the bed, but also there is a chance there are actual real tentacles there. Because you know how these games work, these horror premises of these RPG Maker style, or these adventure games. And Bedrot. So that's it for Bedrot. I believe this game takes place in the same universe as the developer's other game. I think that was what the one murder case maybe was alluding to. That is a multiple chapter RPG Maker style horror game. I believe that one's not done up to like 4 chapters. But this story seems like it's standalone. I think it's just more of a nod to that. And as far as I can tell, I don't think there's anything supernatural in this universe, so it's probably, you know, like symbolic tentacles. Our protag either just completely went almost, not literally comatose, but like mentally comatose, or maybe they actually died. Hence, you know, the smell of, not just the smell of the garbage rotting, but like decompositional rotting. Funnily enough, not the first game I've played that dealt with a similar subject. But, of course, the common theme is the subject matter itself, usually depression or other subjects, and its outcome. So in this case, our protag did not have a good ending. And the story never quite says what caused it. They obviously just implied maybe it was just a bunch of small things. But you know, essentially that was not the goal to explain what caused it. It was just more of a, I mean, this was part of a game jam. Funnily enough, the theme of the game jam was nightmares. I think I played a couple of games for this game jam. Those were actually more moth focused, because then that was another theme for the game jam was moths. But they took the nightmare theme and then they, you know, took the concept of just kind of like staying in your place, just not coming out, like the depression angle, and then added the nightmare aspect, which once again I think cements that the tentacle thing was inherently just maybe a death nightmare. I'm not sure. But yeah, anyway. So if you guys want to play Bedrot, I'll see you guys later and take it easy.